Long before the rise of Islam, before the armies of Arabia crossed the deserts, and before the great cities of the medieval world began to take shape, there was an empire in the heart of ancient Persia, an empire that would become one of the greatest powers of the ancient world. Its name was the Sassanian Empire. For more than 4 centuries, the Sassanian kings ruled over vast lands stretching across Persia, Mesopotamia, the Caucasus, Central Asia, and beyond. Their armies fought the mighty Roman Empire. Their kings built magnificent palaces. Their scholars preserved ancient knowledge, and their cities became centers of trade, culture, religion, and power. But the story of the Sassanians did not begin with an empire. It began with a man who looked upon a weakened Persian kingdom and believed that the glory of Persia could be restored. His name was Ardashir. In the early 3rd century, Persia was changing. For nearly 500 years, the Parthian Empire had dominated the Iranian world. The Parthians had fought Rome again and again. They had controlled important trade routes. They had ruled a vast and powerful kingdom. But the Parthian Empire was not as united as it appeared. Its power was divided among powerful noble families. Local rulers controlled their own territories, and the central government struggled to maintain complete authority. Then, from the province of Persis in southern Iran, a new force began to rise. Ardashir belonged to the Sassanian family. His father, Papak, was a local ruler, but Ardashir wanted more than a small kingdom. He wanted to restore the ancient power of Persia. He wanted to unite the Iranian lands under one powerful ruler, and most importantly, he wanted to create a new Persian empire. Ardashir began expanding his power. One by one, he defeated rival rulers. His influence grew, his army became stronger, and eventually, he challenged the Parthian king himself. The final confrontation came in 224 AD. At the Battle of Hormozgan, Ardashir defeated the Parthian ruler Artabanus IV. The old empire had fallen, and a new empire had begun. The Sassanian Empire was born, but Ardashir understood something important. Winning a battle was not enough. To build an empire, he needed more than soldiers. He needed unity. He needed a powerful government. He needed a strong army, and he needed an identity that could bring the people of Persia together. Ardashir and his successors presented themselves as the heirs of the ancient Persian kings. They connected their rule to the glorious traditions of the past, and they strengthened the position of Zoroastrianism, the ancient religion of Persia. Fire temples became important religious centers. Priests gained influence, and the empire began to develop a powerful connection between kingship, religion, and the state. The Sassanian king was not simply a ruler. He was the center of the empire, the symbol of order, the protector of the kingdom, the defender of Persia, and around him, an enormous imperial system began to grow. But beyond the borders of this new empire, another great power was watching: Rome. For centuries, Rome and Persia had fought for control of the ancient world. Now, a new Persian dynasty had taken power, and the Romans would soon discover that the Sassanians were not simply replacing the Parthians. They were creating something far more powerful. A new Persian superpower had entered the stage of history, and its greatest battles, its greatest kings, its greatest victories, and its darkest disasters were still to come. Because the Sassanian Empire was about to enter a struggle that would last for centuries, a struggle against Rome, against internal rebellion, against invading armies, and eventually against a new force rising from the deserts of Arabia. But before the empire could face its final enemy, it would have to survive the ambitions of its own kings, and the first great challenge would come from the very man who had created it. Ardashir had built the empire, but now he had to prove that it could survive without him.